For people who are interested in starting to become familiar with the Bible but find it overwhelming, I do not recommend starting at Genesis and trying to read the whole way through. The Old Testament can be very, very dense and tricky to get through. One of my most successful ventures in trying to work through the whole Bible was using a podcast that chose a verse from the Old Testament, a verse from the New Testament, and then a psalm and a wisdom reading. And then in a year, you get through the entirety of the scripture if you do that. If you're somebody who's just looking to dip your toes in, I would say that you could look at Beach Street Church's YouTube site and start to look at sermons, or the Jesus 101 series that gives you some invitation into scripture without it being the overwhelming breadth of all of it. It depends on what you're needing or looking for. If you're wanting to look to the teachings of Jesus, the first few chapters of the New Testament are the best place to do that. If you're looking for poetry and wisdom literature, look to the Psalms and the Proverbs. If you're looking for ancient stories that are often somewhat brutal, but characterize some of the challenges of what it means to be human, you can look at Judges and some of the Old Testament prophets. If you're looking to understand some of the more spiritual and even poetic explanations of the beginning times and the end times, you might look at Genesis and Revelation. It might be interesting to read those side by side and see how they echo each other. Continue to find teachers and resources that invite you into the scriptures in ways that make sense to you.